broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Modern Family After Show here at AFTERBUZZ TV. I am your host, Steve Kauffman. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Kauffman. That's Kauffmann. Most weeks is where I say I am not alone to get started talking about this show, but I actually am alone. It's just me tonight, but it's just going to be just as much fun. We're going to talk about the show, and this is Season 7, Episode 6, The More You Ignore Me. And please be sure to like us, rate us, subscribe to us, iTunes, YouTube, all that fun stuff. And we start off the episode finding out that Luke is arrested because he stole his parents' car. Which I've never been arrested, but I'm pretty sure we've all been guilty of stealing our parents' car for one thing or another. His logic was that it was an emergency. Sarah's cat was sick. And that if he took her to the hospital, she might make out with him. Which is some very fair logic, I think. Please join me in the chat here. I see two of you are watching. He gets broken out of jail. He gets bailed out. The car's still impounded. And he pretty much has to, like Phil lays down the law, whereas Claire is a little loosey-goosey about it. And Phil pretty much tells him, you have to clean the place for the ducks, which Manny helps him do. One of the ducks gets away. We run into his neighbor that we haven't seen his neighbor in a while. And sticking with the regular theme, Luke can't get any luck with the ladies. He hides. Manny succeeds. And then Manny gets in good with the neighbor. But at the end of the day, Sarah helps him. I thought this was a good storyline for Luke. Show him aging, be a little more rebellious, all of those fun things. And I'm going to move right along because there's no one to bounce ideas off of. We now run into Jay and Gloria. Jay is doing a video to explain how he got successful in business, and he was struggling with it. He didn't quite understand how to equate who he is and what he is to business. And it kind of ties back to the title, The More You Ignore Me, or The More You Tell Me No, which is something I actually am usually motivated by the most. People are usually motivated negatively the most. And what he discovers by running into everyone else's problems is that his motivation and how he was motivated, and therefore how he motivates people, is to just tell them they can't do something. Which someone outside told me I couldn't do this show by myself. And here I am. And that's what he decides. He also, Mitch, who we'll get to a little bit later, he had an opportunity to be a partner at another firm. And Jay pretty much said, yeah, you should do that. Knowing that it would light a fire under him to start his own firm, which we wanted him to do for about 2 seasons. And then he finally did. So now we move on to Gloria. She has a very special sauce recipe that's handed down from Colombian lore that rivals Cam's sauce recipe that doesn't seem all that special. And Cam, being Cam, pretty much destroys the recipe, and Gloria needs to figure out all the ingredients to this recipe, which she does fairly record time by all of the sounds of Colombia, which are comically gunshots and sirens and pigs and all these fun little sounds. And that was a fun thing that I think we get a more realistic Gloria than I'm used to when she talks about home. And I like that. And then I like that Cam kind of took second fiddle to Gloria and her problem. and they made the sauce, and they try to sell it at the farmer's market, only to realize Gloria's banned from the farmer's market, which, if I had to pick a character in this show that was banned from the farmer's market, I would never think Gloria. And finally, moving right along to, I just wrote Team Hail Andy, and then Dylan and Beth. Although I have them flipped around, it's actually Andy who's with Beth. Andy, who's not fat anymore. It's been 6 weeks, maybe 10 weeks. Not fat. I guess it's a lot of water weight. And they're out to dinner. No, they're out to a movie. Sorry, they wind up out to dinner. They're out to a movie, and they go and they notice the only 2 seats left. Haley and Dylan are out. Only 2 seats left are right next to Andy and Beth. Team Beth Andy, as I shipped them last season. And Haley is more upset than ever that Andy's just kind of over her, which I kind of feel like Andy is, for lack of a better term, like putting up a front. But they wind up going out to dinner, and they have a really awkward dinner that brings out the worst in everyone, and Haley breaks up with Dylan in the car, which, I mean, he could tell from one tone in her voice at the top of the conversation that that she was going to break up with Dylan, because Dylan's been broken up with so many times before. What I'm wondering is, Haley and Dylan still live together last I checked, so I guess he has to move out. He's also banned from Uber for speaking to the drivers too much. And right before that, we find Beth asking Andy if they should invite Haley and Dylan to the wedding, which would be awkward, and I think they're setting up a huge set piece for later down the line, which is Haley breaking up a wedding between Andy and Beth. And I'm really excited for that. And that about does it. Talked about everything here on the Modern Family After Show. You guys can find me at Steve Kauffman. That is KAUFMANN. I do a lot of shows here, usually with people, and I tweet about them fairly regularly. And thank you, and good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.